what happens when Benzie's videos collide with Sheev videos. They become ungodly long, and sorry for that. This video was brought to my attention in regards to misleading information. I usually only bring out the truth in games, but I have done a few reaction videos as well as other things. This will be a different kind of video, but it will show you all how I view this particular one. I would not think that Benzie is lying, but I've never got a requested video of a CC to check out, so let's see what this is all about. So I've watched his video, and here I will give you my opinion on it. And if I fast forward, that is only because there's nothing I have to address. So if I do this, this is because I think it's not a big deal, or I totally agree. Also, disclaimer, I do not dislike Benzie at all. I'm only here for the facts, and I only do this since I was asked for it. I will focus on the stuff at hand, and I won't put up any personal thoughts of mine, since we all can feel different. I'm not the content creator police by any means, and if this video is all but fair, then I will have nothing to say. But since I obviously decided to make it, I do have some thoughts.
Guide for Eve Echoes. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Praxis 2, the Society of Conscious Thoughts battleship's second-tier variant. This is one of those ships that I think a lot of people just kind of ignore and let it pass unnoticed. And it was like, 2 is the ship that you will get here for having
it's expensive.
900 days of Combo Omega active on your account. Now, you could just buy 900 days outright. That's going to be slightly insane. Obviously, you'll get 30 days Combo Omega if you win one of my giveaways. That won't initially count. You will have to buy Combo Omega, but if you won a 30-day Combo Omega, then you buy a Combo Omega, that will trigger a full 60 days for these. For some reason, the developer added Combo Omega doesn't seem to trigger these. But that's how you're going to get it. And yes, 900 days is a long time.
What is it, like
ultimately,
$450?
Those of us who have been around for a long time in the game, we're all sort of reaching that point now anyway. Plus, other people are, going to be looking at these and just sort of pumping a little bit of Omega in there just to get it. 76,312 defense. Again, this is not the tankiest battleship out there, but it's not exactly squishy either, with 17,500 across the board in all three versions, which means as you start training up battleship defense upgrade, that will push up even further. There's no real decision here as to, there's nothing to say that this should be shield or armor tanked. You can kind of tank it either way depending on your
Yeah, you can tank it either way. But I would say this is an armor, since you get more armor resistance. Armor mitigates more damage than shield does. So it's easier on your cap if you use armor. But if you use shield boost, then you can boost more for a shorter time, but it eats more cap. I'd say this would be best as an armor tank.
Which is another sort of versatility feather in the Praxis 2's cap. So versatility, you'll notice, is a running theme on this ship.
Yeah, it is.
The capacitor banks, pretty okay, 9,300 gigajoules, long capacitor recharge time.
Yeah.
But, decent. The capacitor's not bad, is what I'm trying to say. It's not the worst capacitor out there.
It's not worst.
Better, but it's pretty solid, and it will support shield tanking quite comfortably.
Yeah.
When we look at maximum lock targets, it's like most battleships, it's got 8. Signature radius is fairly large, 440 meters.
Yeah.
Scan resolution, however, is a little bit higher than most other battleships at 170 meters. Sensor strength, 22, does
Locks
nothing.
quick.
Flight velocity is incredibly slow, as is the inertia and mass modifier. The agility of this ship is just awful. Warp speed,
it warps quick though.
It's slow and lumbering, which is kind of disappointing, and this is the point of a lot of what the Praxis was about in EVE Online. So let's look at
so I just jumped to the fitting
then. Now, I've mentioned that ultimately the big advantage of the Praxis 2 is its versatility. You can fit any high slot you like in there, plus you can have drones in the tubes there as well. This does, however, mean that if you want to get the most out of the Praxis 2, you are going to need to have large drone skills in order to maximize the drones, and large weapon skills of your choice as well. That makes it particularly expensive to skill into if you want to actually get some decent numbers out of it. Now, I've been a bit of an idiot. I enjoy flying the Praxis 2. I love how it looks, and I love that I've managed to make it actually somewhat viable. I've spent a lot of ISK kitting this out, probably a lot more than I should have, especially on the rigs, as we'll talk about in just a moment. For me, though, I have large missile skills and I've got large drone skills. I fly a rattlesnake otherwise, and certainly that means I've gone for large missile launches here in the tops. You could go rapids. Definitely you could go rapids. That will save you some money on the rigs, as we'll talk about in a moment. But for me, I quite like the DPS and the range versatility of these, but rapids will definitely get the job done. You just have a slightly lower DPS.
I would go rapids.
Better application, if that makes sense. Looking at the stats though, explosion velocity 86.25 meters per second and explosion radius 214 aren't terrible. They will apply damage well enough, especially if I web a target.
It's decent.
And the drones will do the rest on the very smallest ships out there. Again, though, this is a personal preference thing. You can quite handily swap.
Yeah, fitting is personal, man.
If that's what you prefer. That's the ballistic control units there to give myself some additional DPS from those missiles when I need. Now, this is where things get slightly crazy for me. I went integrated on this one, and yes, I am on the live server. So here in the engineering, I went for Universal 2P Engineering Integrated Modules, Capacitor Control Circuit, Semiconductor Memory Cell. That pushed me to capacitor stable quite comfortably with one Nosferatu, but I've put 2 on there for the time being anyway, just to prove that you can get it really high on cap stability. If you do want to go scanning, lose one of those Nosferatus. Then 2 targeting system subcontrollers. Because screw it, if we've got
dude, you got 2 of those.
The Praxis
2 targeting, dude. You're gonna lock quick as.
460mm scale resolution there. That is really quite useful.
Look at that. Look at that.
You'll see later
Scan resolution 460. Damn, that's fast, man.
Again, these are all Universal 2P Combat Integrated Modules. I've gone for Drone Speed Augmenter, Drone Firepower Augmenter, followed by Warhead Rigger Catalyst and Califaction Catalyst, so I'm getting a little bit there in application. Again, if you decide you want to go for Rapids, then you can just go Califaction and Bay Loading Accelerator in that instead. And then Core Defense Charge Economizer and Core Defense Field Extender for the last one. Now, if you didn't want to integrate this, I would basically go for engineering for your SSC, your 3 rigs here. So this side, you'd have your semiconductor memory cell, capacitor control circuit, and then 1 targeting system subcontroller if you didn't want to integrate. And on this side, I would probably go for ignore the drone ones and just go straight for warhead califaction, bay loading accelerator, and then a core defense field extender to make things a little bit larger on the shields.
That extender caught me by surprise. But as I say, fit as you like. Everything don't have to be perfect. You might have it for comfortability or something. I don't understand it, but I mean, it's good. It's good.
And what that's giving me is a flat cold offense of 1,517.12 with remarkably good application. The defense is pretty solid, 102,749 total EHP. Most of that now is in
so you have it to have a little bit larger on the shield.
Well, before I'm boosting, it's just based on the skills that I have available. We are heavily capacitor stable. You know, we're quite comfortable with our capacitor. Targeting is really quick for us, although the ship is ridiculously slow. So yeah, you do have to kind of handle that. And if you wanted to, I suppose you could put a polycarbon engine housing instead of one of the targeting rigs. But for me, it's not such a big worry. I'm ratting in a home system most of the time with a standing fleet around me. So if someone were to catch me, I can just call in a support fleet, tank it for as long as possible. I can leave the shield booster running, large shield booster running, and everything here. And I will just keep gaining. I think I cap stabilize out around 65-70% somewhere there. So it is in no danger of running out of capacitor anytime soon. But what if you didn't want missiles? Well, basically, I would recommend training the drone skills, because if you've got drones, you may as well use them, right? And then whatever large weapon system you have, go for the short-range version. I think lasers are probably the weakest of them, but autocannons and snub-nosed are going to do really well. Snub-nosed is actually going to give you monstrous DPS on this thing, and I do genuinely recommend that. That is a fun ship to build and fly. For me, though, that's the Praxis 2 as it currently stands. Let's now talk about fitting it with a nano core. Due to the hyper-expensive nature of the Sleeper core, we're going to talk about the Afterglow of Death cores instead. Now, both of these come from that same Omega deal. In fact, shortly after getting the Praxis 1, you get the Praxis Afterglow of Death Nano Core. Of course, this works on the Praxis 1 and the Praxis 2, and I think it's at 990, if not the final 1080.
So $45 more.
Omega, you'll get the Praxis Afterglow 2 core. These are actually fairly similar. The Afterglow of Death 2 core is naturally slightly better, but it's not far and away. So let's have a look instead at the Praxis.
I don't know anything about this, so I don't have them.
So, customization. It's also amazing that it's one of the few animated ones out there. It just
You didn't change the skin?
Incredible. Anyway, that's complete customization there, so that you can have a look at the rest of it. So this is the Praxis 2. Before I put the Nano Core on it, in a Tech 10 Angel Small Anomaly. And I know it's only a small, bear with me, I'm still not great on my battleship skills at the moment. And again, it's one of those, oh, but in other battleships you can do, you know, larges and mediums easily. Yeah, you probably can with the Praxis. I just wanted to showcase it in a small because that's what I tend to do because they're quick and easy and give decent enough bounty ticks for me at least. Anyway, the reason I wanted to show you the end of this wave is just to showcase how quickly this Praxis locks on. Check out how fast, it's not really giving...
No, I didn't see anything.
There. We're onto the Typhoon already, and there we're onto the frigates. You can see by looking at the actual things on screen.
I couldn't even see you lock it, man.
Very... Yeah,
but it's a small one.
It still gets the job done.
Any ship can do this.
Good damage here.
Right.
Again, I've just left everything running and check my capacitor, still sitting comfortably at 70%. Shield is taking almost no denting at all. You can do a lot higher than this, so I kind of wanted to compare it side by side. I actually kind of prefer flying this to the Rattlesnake. Yeah, I know the Rattlesnake's better. The Rattlesnake genuinely is better in pretty much every single way. But if I do ever go down my dream of training into large railguns as well, then having large railguns and using snubs on this thing, just that terrifies me.
No, this terrifies you.
But yeah, having a lot of fun with the Praxis 2. I think genuinely, yeah, it's a niche ship. It's one of those ships that I think a lot of people are going to look at and discard because it is expensive on the insurance points, and other ships kind of do it better.
It's expensive. It's 2,600 IP, man. It's expensive.
But if, like me, you're one of those people who doesn't really care about min-maxing and doing the best ships, you'd rather fly something that looks amazing and, you know, has a bit more fun to it, then yeah, the Praxis 2's actually surprised me. And I think I'm going to get a lot of people commenting saying I'm wrong on this and I'm a little bit crazy for it, but I really enjoy this ship. I think there is a lot of value to this ship. It's a completely free ship. The Nano Core is completely free as well.
Is this what the video is about? No, this is not free. No, this is $450 plus $45 for the Nano Core. That is wallet money. It's not free. It's a ship for 3-year-old players, right? Something like that. Like 2.5-year-old players. That costed you a bit over $500 to get. And if you die with it, you lose 2,600 IP. It's not a free ship.
You're going to be having combo Omega anyway, just by the time you get it.
Yeah, but some people don't even have combo. Some people just go Omega. So they're never going to get it? Alright, yeah, sure, fine. I mean, yeah.
Worth undocking it. I don't think this one's going to become a paperweight in my hangar. I'm actually already using this more than I'm using the Rattlesnake, although I might still use the Rattlesnake in things like Dormant Realms when I finally get round to doing those, because I can do the sniping fit with it, but we'll see. It's just that little bit tankier as well. I don't know, though. I really like this ship. I hope it's given you guys some inspiration. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think on this. Otherwise, thank you for watching right the way through to the end, folks. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.
Alright, so far, like, this was my reaction to it. And what I did get, as well as this, was actually a print screen. And he got called out after this video by Irish Webster, who said this: I decked this ship out. All the best rigs, all the best weapons, faction drones. I put the Nano 2 on it. I still did less DPS than my Dominics. Not Dominics 2, just the Dominics. Finally, I found a BS that does less damage than a drone ship, and Benzie calls it good. Come on, man. I'm trying not to say mean shit, but you're making it hard. whatever we say, keep making positive content, man. You are just about the only one who does it nowadays, and I appreciate it. You know, fairly nice comment, if you ask me. Now what Benzie says is, bro, with large missiles and drones, this out-DPSing a Dominic's too. He also say, with large snubs and drones, it brawls like a king. And more importantly, it's a rattlesnake, but using whatever high slot you want. Fancy autocannons and drones, using the barrage implant. Okay, so this is my Vindicator. Now snubs are only good if you're in range, and that's why the web bonus and dual webs are important for those guns. The Praxis is not the ship that decides range. All other ships are except Praxis, because it's so slow. So it's not really fair to say that it brawls like a king. Now this is my Rattlesnake, and I do agree the Rattlesnake is a bit better, of course, but it's more close to Rattlesnake. But you also say you're out DPSing a Dominic's too. Well, I have to say that that is a statement that is hard to discuss around. So I will answer that it's kind of like my Raven will out DPS your Praxis. All I'm saying is that this Raven here is built as cheap as possible. It's only 447 IP versus your Praxis 2660 IP. And can you honestly say that Praxis is actually good? The fact that it demands you 800 plus days or 900 days or whatever it is of Omega time, of duo Omega time to get it. I do understand why I got this video, and I kind of feel that it's Netty's way to fool players into buying Omega to get this ship. As Benzie says, winning duo Omega will not count. And I'm very sorry that Benzie did hype up this video with his Praxis 2 that is so good. Because I would think he got paid to make this one. Because the other reason for making this one would be that he don't know what he's talking about. So what is worse? I think he knows what he's talking about. I did hear you in the video that you briefly mentioned the IP, that it was a bit expensive, but I felt that you glanced over that part really quick. Like, it's not that important, and you say it yourself, you know, you can die 15 times or whatever, but it is a big thing about this ship. And it's not that you're not doing your work in explaining stuff thoroughly. You said several times the lock speed is incredible on the Praxis, and it is faster than other battleships, as well as the time to warp. But I mean, you also rig the locking speed, which I do too when I do PvE. Either way, this video is doing the players a disfavor, as you promote one of the most expensive sub-cap ships in the game. On top of that, it can only be achieved with real money. So saying that it's a free ship is not very accurate, and you're gonna get it anyway. Well, that kind of lowballs everyone who can't afford the duo Omega. And again, 2-year veterans will get this ship, and they can fly any battleship. This ship do not do justice, Benzie. And I do feel that some people will get this ship and not look at the IP and lose it, and that way Netties will get money because they have to buy more IP. And since you're not even talking about it so much, then it's kind of misleading. Now, I don't have time to watch all the videos Benzie makes, so I will assume this is a one-time thing and we all make mistakes. But yeah, don't make people put money to get a ship that is not what you make it to appear. You are good at making stuff sound good, but I must agree, this video was not something I do agree with. And I see you again.